Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's your boy Worm here. We come at you with another great podcast today. Our guest today is Ghost10101. Of course, we talk about Halo, and then also talk about how he met his girlfriend. Roll the tape, guys. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the most professionally unprofessionally done freaking podcast, The W0rm. All right. Today's guest is Ghost. Ghost the guy that has the nicest, the sweetest voice. Put you to sleep until he starts singing, and then you wake the fuck back up. All right. Today we're going to be talking about random little things and all that stuff. Maybe you'll learn some new things about him and all. Other than that, welcome, Ghost. Thank you for coming here.
Oh, I thank you for having me. You're far too kind.
Dude, freaking, I'm actually really happy that you're here, and you joined me today and all. I won't lie, like, I really look up to your streams and what you do, and that's kind of how I got my into stream thing is from what you do and everything, and I'm sure you inspire a lot of other people that you probably don't even realize, man.
No, man. Well, that's very kind of you. I mean, we all inspire each other, right? I mean, I've seen you do some really cool ass shit too.
Hey, that's awesome. Well, most of mine was money, so let's be honest.
I'm talking about like your new BRB screen that you did somewhat recently.
Yeah,
That was actually really cool.
yeah. Well, it was funny though, like with that BRB with the like putting the clips in and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually surprised on how simple that was, and then I was like sitting here like, why didn't I not do this sooner? You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I
um,
it's a really smart idea because I see stress will always throw up like HCS clips or
mhm.
whatever. Um, But I think what you're doing is actually better because it's your content or whatever that's just up there on your BRB screen.
Right, and
So
then you can kind of hear what's going on and all that stuff, and it's from all the little escapades from the last 3 years or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So okay, so
Showcase yourself.
talking about inspiration, what really truly inspired you to start streaming?
Well, I used to
Because you've been doing this for a
watch.
long time.
Oh, has it been? I guess it has. It's been like 3 or 4 years at this point. Um, well, I used to watch a bunch of Let's Players and stuff on YouTube, and then way back in the day, there's this dude named Man versus Game. He still streams. He's a relatively big streamer that pulls in a couple thousand people on average. And I was like, man, he's cool. I want to do that.
Right.
It's the same thing. Like I looked up to him. I was like, that's really cool. I want to do that. So I just started streaming a couple hours after work. Um, and I always worked like late nights, so I'd get off at like midnight or 1 a.m. or something, and then I'd end up streaming until like 6 a.m. or
That's the reason.
something like that.
That's the reason why your schedule is always jacked up, right?
Yeah, well, dude, I've worked nights for like 15 years or something like that. It's been a long ass time. Like, so it's the natural progression of things, right?
Yeah, it's just like you'll ever so often have like that miraculous close to 24-hour stream and all, and you're like, I don't know why I'm still up.
Yeah, that does happen,
But that
unfortunately.
that's happens a lot with night owls and all that stuff anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
it's like once the sun hits you, you're
yeah,
like, damn it, now I'm
damn
up.
it. Yeah, because like with me, I work days mostly, but back in the day, I worked a lot of seconds and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I would be up during the night and all that stuff. So I completely know the night owl freaking scene and all that stuff because I'd be up and then I'd be playing video games and all, and then I'd see like light coming through the window, and I'm like, I
Start
probably should
hearing
be
the
going to
birds.
bed. I probably should be going to bed right now.
Yeah. It
Oh,
doesn't help that like everything like today, like I had to go get a shot or whatever, and they schedule it like in the middle of the day when I would normally be sleeping. So I just end up staying up and
yeah.
trucking through the day.
Right.
It just is what it
You
is.
might get off of this, might take an hour nap, and then freaking be right back up, back to streaming.
That's exactly how it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's another thing. It's all randomized little things and all that stuff and all that. I won't lie. Like I said earlier, thought about all these little questions, random questions while I was at work. I probably spend a lot more time thinking about like streaming and stuff like that than what I do trying to actually work at work and all that stuff. I think I overstress myself so much and all that stuff. And that's probably the reason why, like, no, I get in my moods of, wanting to stream and then my moods of not wanting to stream and all. Because I think I overstress myself. I do have depression problems and all, but most people do in some way, shape, or form and all. But what movie or like TV series or anime series or whatever gets you in the feels
In
every
the
single time? Like,
feels?
yeah, in the feels. Like I won't lie. Like, like for me, it's SOA. SOA.
Sword
There's
Art on or no.
Sword Art Online.
Oh, yeah. So I was right.
That anime, like I swear, it's like every other episode. I start busting out crying or getting close to crying, and I start feeling how like uh the characters are feeling and all that stuff and all. What like series like that?
Crystal and I actually watched there was it was a Netflix, I can't remember if it was a Netflix original or adaptation or whatever, called Violet Evergarden.
Yes,
Um,
yes, 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 yes. I've watched Violent Out of Evergarden. Yes,
that
I've
one hit
watched
you
that.
pretty hard.
Did,
That was brutal. There's like the I don't there's a couple different episodes that are really they're rough. They're rough to get there.
Now, have you watched them off of Netflix? Because like with me, I've watched all of my stuff off of Netflix.
Yeah, we watch
Now,
it. We just like binge watch
so did
Netflix.
you watch the movie Violent Evergarden?
I don't think we've seen it. I don't think
You
so.
you should look it up. You should look it up. You talking about the animated series getting you
Yeah.
tear jerking? The movie that they did, I think it's like an hour long or maybe an hour and a half. Maybe I think it's an hour. Um, that is gut wrenching. Like the whole time, like your stomach's going to be like, like oh my gosh, like do I feel up? Do I feel down? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean I love my anime and all that stuff, but I mean like as far as like movie wise and all that stuff for me, I think probably my top 3 that I can probably think off the top of my head, one of my top 3 would probably be Avatar.
Oh, there you go.
Avatar
Yeah?
really does get you in the feels if you're like really get invested, and that's my problem. Like, that's another reason why I can't watch scary movies. I can't watch scary movies, okay? Because I get too invested in the movie. You
Yo,
know what I'm
I
saying?
love horror movies so much.
Uh, my skin starts crawling in certain ones, like the old school ones. I'm fine with them because like I don't know, it's because of the graphics and stuff like that. But some of these new school ones, like my skin starts crawling and all that shit. And I mean, I was without a girlfriend for a while, and now I got one and all. But the one last time before, she liked scary movies, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I don't really want to watch this. And I would literally freaking like halfway through the freaking movie, I'll be like sitting right up next to her. Instead of
Like
she
curled
going
up
up
like
again, I'm like sitting up and like, oh, what is happening next? What is happening next? You know?
yeah, I'm in the
Oh,
fortunate situation that Crystal also seems to enjoy most of the same stuff that I enjoy, so we'll sit down and have movie nights and watch the same stuff. We actually recently watched the King Kong and Godzilla movie.
oh
It
yeah,
was it
yeah,
was all
yep.
right.
Yep. Me and my lady, we watched that over the weekend and all that stuff. Um, I liked how they did. I don't want to give out too many spoilers because
Oh yeah.
but I liked how they did like the last like 20, 30 minutes of the movie and all that stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because like if I would have seen it any other way, I think I probably would have been really pissed off with either side. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I
Yeah, I
probably
do know
would have
what you're
been really
saying.
pissed off.
Yeah, I liked what they did. They tied it together really nicely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Even though the extra piece in there, they could have done better with the graphics. You know,
Yeah.
could have made it look a lot better.
Yeah, it looked kinda generic. It was kinda yeah, but
It's like they threw it together and was like, here you go. You know,
yeah,
that's pretty much what it was.
but it was a cool idea.
Yeah, great idea and all that stuff.
The idea was sound.
All right. Not really going to worry about the schedule things. We already kind of went over that in a way. Um, so who is it? Who would you say, let's say streaming wise or whatever, that you look up to the most?
Streaming wise that I look up to the most?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, he's in here. I don't know if he's still listening. Pete, Mr. Pixel Peter, he puts so much work into his OBS.
Yep.
It's like mind numbing.
Mm-hmm.
The dude knows OBS better than I think anyone.
About the only other person I could say that probably knows OBS any better than Pete would be Nate God.
Yeah.
That'd be
That's
probably be about the only other one. Him, I call him Hash, but he's not actually. That's not how you pronounce it correctly. But I think Hash, he knows a lot and all that stuff as well. Hopefully one.
K-Madify knows a lot too. He has his
Yeah.
whole
Oh
keyboard's
yeah.
like mapped out.
Well, it's K-Mad. Remember, he did all that. He used to do all that stuff straight, literally through his keyboard. Now he's
Mhm.
finally his old lady's got him an actual stream deck.
Ooh,
So
there you go.
now he actually like has gotten all kinds of different little things he's got going. I'm pretty sure with the way K-Mad is, he still uses some of his keyboard, but because now he's got the Stream Deck, he's able to do a lot more PC gaming without having to worry about possible pushing the wrong button and making an alert go off when he's trying to
Yeah,
shoot a gun or something.
yeah.
With the way he is.
Yeah, those guys are always they're really cool because 'cause they're, like, kind of the opposite of me, essentially. Because 'cause
Hmm.
I'm more stripped back and just laid back or
Relax.
whatever, and
They're hype.
they got just crazy shit going on pretty much 24/7. But,
Hmm.
yeah, Pete's a real dude.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I have to agree with you on that. Like Pete is like in my top three of like my favorite freaking streamers and all that stuff. Don't worry, you're in my top 10. Okay, don't worry,
no.
you're in my top 10. All right, but he's in my top three. Like for me, it's like Tim the Tap Man because he's another older freaking bald fat guy. You know,
The Baldnies unite.
like the thing is with me with Tim the Tap Man is that he plays the game well, but at the same time, he really is mostly in it for the fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's really what it is. He's there to entertain, and that's been always been my thing. It's just I'm never going to be like a high level like you, or Pete or a few others and all that stuff. Um, you know, um, uh, but I can be funny, I can be silly and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So let me go with my strong suits and stuff. And then also I like to talk. That's the reason why we're doing the podcast. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, hey, and then I would have to say like my another one would be and probably not a lot of people know about him, but TSM Vis. He I started following him back in Apex Day, but he mostly plays I mean back in PUBG days, but he mostly plays Apex nowadays. Excellent freaking gamer and all, and he's got such a great community and all that stuff. And he's one of those guys that like on Sundays. It's sub Sunday, and basically he matches all the subs that are given out that day and stuff like that and all. So like you got somebody that did five subs, he matches with another five and all that stuff, and he's really great at the freaking
That's cool.
game and all. And um, it kind of sucks that lately he's been playing a lot more Octane lately, but it happens. But so has been Pete. So I'll forgive them all for playing a lot of Octane.
I
It's
hate to tell
okay.
you, I played Octane as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've played Octane as well. Okay, I've played Octane. I don't mind the character. It's just a lot of the random people that I play with that
Oh
have
yeah.
played Octane. They're nothing but selfish.
Yep.
You know,
Every single one we played with too, they would just fucking book it or they would just be gone the moment a fight would start, essentially.
right? It's just absolutely so like that. That's the only reason why I really despise. And then on top of that, like the end game, the end game, the last two circles or whatever, like
Yeah.
a decent for most of the time, Octane's abilities are almost useless in that and all that stuff. Unlike like Horizon and a few others and stuff like that. But well, we're not
Yeah.
going to get too much into that because the main person I really want to talk about a lot of Apex is Pixel Pete, and we got him coming up in the next 2 weeks on Sunday and on. And I know
Yeah.
we're going to be talking a lot about Apex and stuff. Um, um, see, okay, so I know that you do little music events and stuff like that. I think right now what you do them all solo, right? Pretty much
Yeah,
you know.
I'm all by myself.
Did you were you ever in a band?
No, I was too shy.
Too shy?
I was too shy to go meet people and about my own skills and stuff. I was too embarrassed about trying to like reach out to other people. And now that I'm more confident in it, I live in the middle of nowhere and
It's
half the
hard to
people
find the
are
same minded people.
yeah, it's harder to find well then there's also, the whole pandemic thing going on right now, but um yeah, I don't know, it's rough cuz like a lot of the dudes around here are just they're older and they're like into country or like old bluesy rock kind of stuff.
Mm,
Not that the stuff I play is terribly new, but
right, right.
you
Well, it's
know,
like what you've done a concert a few months back or whatever, and you did like some Nirvana or like that songs or something
yeah, I
like that.
did some like Green Day and Nirvana and originals and um yeah, I did a couple of shows last summer and then COVID hit and then everything shut down and I got a couple lined up here in June 4th, and then the other one's not actually nailed down, so we'll see. It's a toss up on that one, but who knows?
Well, hopefully it works out and all that stuff. I have always known from just being in your streams and all that stuff about how you are really passionate about your, songwriting and singing and all that stuff and all. And you kind of, I think you kind of would probably rather be doing that than streaming half the time, probably if you ever made it, somewhat through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, they're both equally fun, I feel like. It's nice. Um, I don't know how to explain, like, going up on a stage and playing a song and then having people like it is, like, a really cool feeling.
Yeah.
It's a wild feeling, but you get the same thing when people come into chat and they're not assholes and they're actually nice.
It's the assholes that you would like go away.
Oh god, dude. I mean, you know how it is.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get like the weirdos every now and then that'll pop in and just that doesn't happen so much in real life. It still does happen. Some people have a few too many drinks or whatever, and then they'll be like, they'll just get weird. People get weird occasionally,
Right,
but they
yeah.
do it less in real life. I feel like, but it's whatever. I enjoy 'em both.
Yeah, I don't know. It's with the whole freaking trolls and stuff like that with streaming and stuff like that. That's the reason why for the longest of time I just was like, you know what? Let me put on follower only chat. Let me mature only chat. All that
Yeah,
stuff. And all because sometimes those trolls won't even go through the effort of pushing that follow button to say some stuff. You know what I mean? But then that
yeah,
also kind of hurts you on like people that are trying to discover you and want to talk to you before you even start streaming or before they even start following you and all, and see what kind of personality. So it's like it's a double-edged sword with that.
yeah. It's rough. I know. I think Twitch is. I got an email. I didn't fully read it. They said they're cracking down more on banning people and yada yada about whatever. I don't know exactly what was in the email because I didn't read it because
Well, I
heavily
know I
forbid.
know a
But
while back ago they did something about like if well I don't know how good or how accurate this is, but they had said or did something about if you ban a person from the chat, like they can't just change their name or whatever anymore. They can they have to, you know, I don't know what else that what they can do, but they just can't. It wouldn't be so easily to bypass the ban anymore like it used to be, where the only thing they had to do was create a whole another account and bam, they could get back in the chat and
yeah,
do the same thing that they used to do. I don't know how well that worked or anything like that, or if it's still working or whatever, but um, hopefully it's okay. I don't know.
yeah, I have no clue. It's nice that they're taking notice at least and trying to do something.
Right,
'Cause
right.
I've seen other people having issues, over the weeks and months of with just like repeat offenders kind of coming back on alt accounts and whatever. But
Yeah, and the thing is that like I've been like guys will get it, you know, guys will get it, but like you see it so much worse in like female streamers
hmm, for sure.
chats and all that stuff, and um, I think that's, you know, obviously wrong and you know shouldn't be happening and all that stuff, but no, the good thing is for the most part, most of these like most of the female streamers and stuff like that, they have really good mods that support them and all that stuff,
Hmm.
and they take care of business before they even really need to even worry about it. Like that's the other thing that I really also have loved now is the way the mod screen is now.
Yeah,
Um,
it's fantastic.
it's absolutely fantastic, especially if you're on PC and all that stuff. Like, you're able to see messages and stuff like that. Like, almost it seems like a second or 2 seconds before the even the streamer. Sometimes, if you're even in the actual mod, if you're in the actual mod view, you have to be in the actual mod view
Yeah,
and all that stuff. But you can like I love how like you can make sure that any kind of possible alerts that you know if the you can check them all off with a streamer and all that stuff. You can ban people. You can see unban requests. You can see all that stuff as a mod, and I think that's really has helped me in some chats that I'm mod in and all because then I'm able to take care of a bunch of things that you know. Fortunately, the streamer doesn't have to worry about. You know, thing is, lately I won't lie, I haven't been in a lot of streams lately and all because I've been doing my own thing. But you know, whenever I am there, I'm able to pick up the slack on some things and all because, like
those
for
damn
instance,
slacking mods.
well, no, it's not saying
No, I
that.
know,
It's
I
just
know.
you know the thing is like it's amazing, and I didn't really think about it until like I really started playing more and more on PC. Like, there's a lot more people that are like as far as the small communities go. Maybe the larger communities not so much, but there's a lot of people that are just straight up on mobile that are just straight up on console and all that stuff and all. And they don't have the abilities like us where you know we can watch a stream on PC and all that
Yeah,
stuff and get all the additional perks and stuff that you can get with that and all. I didn't really realize how bad it was, and especially now because like I've had people in my own community that's actually wanted to you know come on a podcast and all that stuff. I was like, hey, listen, I'd love to, but you don't have a webcam, and you know I kind of need a you know, whole purpose of a podcast is them being able to see you and hear you and all
yeah.
that stuff. You know, that brings the added effect and all. Um, and also some of them are like, oh man, like I don't want to show my face. Like, well, sorry, you're not
Yeah.
coming on. You know, nothing against you, but it's just going to happen. You know. Um. All right. This is actually going to be. This is kind of a loaded little question here,
Oh god.
but if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Oh, I would get rid of my reflux. That's
Acid
easy. I
reflux?
don't know. You try
I
the
well,
easiest question in my life.
okay, well, some people would be like, oh, whatever, because it's like with me, like if I could get rid of something or whatever, it'd be like my like minor PTSD slash
Oh
depression,
yeah, that makes sense.
depression, depression issues and stuff like that, and all like that. Like I think I'd probably be a lot more normal person and probably be a lot more active on trying to grow my stuff and or trying to help other people out and all that stuff and all if I could just get rid of that I
Right.
don't have any physical ailments like you where you got a bad back, bad everything, and like
I'm an old man worm.
you got like a
Maybe
50-year-old body and a freaking 20 something year old no. It's like,
yeah.
I really, like I got back problems. I've got back, I've got knee, and I've got ankle. Okay, I've claimed that through disability and all that stuff. Um, but like your whole body is fucked up.
Oh, it's just that yeah, that's easy. Cause like Christ, dude. Like I had that surgery in like 2017 or whatever it was, and now I'm having reflux issues again a little bit. So I have to go they're gonna go do a scope this summer some point in May,
Right,
maybe, to see if I have any like ulcers or whatever. Cause
right.
that's
Well,
and being singer, reflux is bad.
oh
Like
yeah, oh yeah. I
it's
guarantee, I guarantee
not
after
fantastic.
like one of your nights of singing and all that stuff, like I guarantee freaking like your throat is freaking just killing you, and the next day you probably can barely talk and barely eat anything because of the reflux.
There's a cool thing. Okay, so um I was really worried because I sing somewhat aggressively. Uh, sometimes I sing somewhat aggressively. And I thought maybe perhaps I was damaging my vocal folds. And earlier, just a couple of months ago, I went to a ear, nose, and throat, and they'll stick a camera up your nose and down your throat and look at your vocal folds while you're doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the ENT doctor and a speech pathologist like watch as I did some of the more again, it's aggressive stuff. People
Right.
call it screaming, but
To
it's
me, it's screaming. I never
it
really got
sounds
it.
like screaming, but it's
Yeah, yeah.
not the same. You don't do the
Yeah.
same thing.
I
Um,
know what you're talking about, but I mean, for I guess alternative rock country guy, freaking, it's screaming for me. Okay,
well, yeah, but it sounds like screaming, but you do a different technique to kind of protect yourself. And they heard. I showed them a video first, and they're like, "Holy shit! You no wonder your voice is fucked up." But then they looked at it and they're like, "Oh, it's fine,"
right.
because the way I'm doing it is perfectly fine. I'm not actually harming anything. It's
Well,
just reflux.
it's like I've watched. You're talking about with that type of singing and everything. Like I've watched a couple of different videos and all that stuff on like how some people do that and all, and I'm just like sitting here like, there's no way I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, there's just
Ye-
no way I could do that. And I have a decent, deep voice. You know what I mean?
Oh, you could do it. You
You
can
know, I
abs. It is a little bit of practice. You
like
got
like,
it.
like I have a decent, deep voice, and like especially like when I'm drinking or whatever, it gets even deeper. You know, like how
Yeah.
like the one time when I was on your stream and I was just like eating pizza, I'm just over here, you know, and freaking everybody's just like, we just need to have him freaking in the party, and you just keep gaming and we're entertained, you know.
Hmm. No, you could totally. I mean, hell, the way your vocal fry, like when you talk, this is the Valley Girl kind of effect. That oh my god, that part of your voice.
Yeah. Oh my
That's all it
god.
is.
Yeah.
That's that like part that rattles. That's it. Like you just exemplify it a little bit more, or whatever you want to
Right.
call it.
Right.
Boost it a bit,
I
but
you won't ever see me doing that.
I know
Don't
it's not your
worry,
style quite a bit,
it's
but
not my style. I'll sing the normal stuff.
got you. Yeah,
I was wondering who that was. Whatever. Okay, that's one of your peeps or whatever. What did he say there before? I thought you
Gerard
had
Way.
Jarred Way.
He's a a singer, I do believe.
Okay. I guarantee Worm would have crazy
He
growls
would.
and gargles.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. Maybe My Chemical
absolutely.
Romance vocalist. Gotcha. Similar in appearance. Gotcha.
There you
But I don't know. It's just like when I was younger, my dad had like an old guitar, acoustic guitar, and
go. Mhm.
I would pretend I was really good at it, and all that. Of course, I
Dude, that's what
sound,
I do right now. This is
like sound like total shit. My dad's like, put that thing away. It's out of tune. I need to put new strings on it. Like, because I would constantly try to retune it and everything. Links aren't allowed in the chat. I don't know
Oh,
if you
I
would.
see how it is.
I'm sorry, but you're not freaking hard. I can probably give you, because I know
Nah, it's
VIPs
fine.
can do it.
I was just making a
Oh, okay.
joke with your buddy there.
But I would do that, and I would sing and all that stuff, and like my parents raised me up on country and all. My grandparents and all that stuff. Like all my family was like real like religious. Well, my parents weren't, but my grandparents were, and I was around my grandparents the most and all. Um, and raising and all that stuff, and then I don't know. It's just I got away from that. Went into most kids that are raised in like a country music freaking thing as a rebel thing to do. They go to rock,
Yeah.
they start listening to like Metallica and all that stuff, and you're just sitting here like, your parents are like, why do you want to listen to Metallica? Why do you want to listen to ACDC? Here's some
That
George
screaming
Strait,
music.
you know, or whatever. And you're like sitting here because I don't want to be like you.
Yeah.
Oh, but at the same time, I do love my parents and all that stuff. It's just, it's just, uh, I've always been, alternative rock and all, even though I do like my country and all. I think the lady that I'm seeing right now, I think she listens to decent amount of country, so I might be back in the realm of country here soon, which is not going to be necessarily a good thing. But she's not completely like that. She actually, so she's got a PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking, I think, in your chat the other day about PlayStation games and stuff like that. And um, there's this one game, I forget what it's called, but it's like a game with I guess stuffed animals or stuffed dolls or whatever, and you got to get through this, and like you gotta unlock the milkshake maker and a bunch of other stuff, and it's like all cartoony and kitty like and all. I tell you that like you would look at that game and think it's a kid's game, but with all the difficulties of the jumps and certain activities and all that stuff, like this is not a kid's game. This is not a kid's game. Because it took me like on one level, freaking like 10 times to try to get that level done.
Dude, there's a few
Of course, I
there's a
also
few
had her son with me, sorry. But I also had her son with me that was playing player two and would always grab me and stop me from being able to make a jump and killing me. So that didn't help
blame the
much
kid.
either.
I see how it is.
Hey, it happens.
There's a game that came with the PS5 called Astro's Playroom, and it looks like a little kid's game, and it was essentially like kind of a controller demo thing and slash throwback to like Sony's history of games and whatever. And it's fantastic. It's really really fun. It's a 3D platformer, and you run around and collect stuff, and like you collect like old PlayStation memorabilia and whatever. I was gonna say it looks like a little kid's game, but some of it was a little bit difficult platforming wise. I want to say, if I remember correctly.
I
But
got you. So yeah, I mean, and the thing is like I think we almost got that game beat too because they had already been playing it. Her and her son were playing it before, and when I came over and all that stuff, because I've been spending the weekends with them and all, and They were like, "Hey, let's get the gamer guy freaking to help us get through this freaking
Yeah.
levels and stuff." And I'm like over here trying to get these levels done. And I'm like,
You're the professional worm. You
and
gotta you
all,
gotta
and
carry.
she's ragging on me. She's like, "Come on, Mister Gamer Guy, can't you get through this
Ooh,
level?" And I'm like
shots
sitting here
fired.
like, "Shut up! I'm trying." I also got this kid holding me back.
Wow.
you
Yeah. Dang, man.
know.
The pressure.
All right. All right. Let's get off of that a little bit. So, I it doesn't necessarily have to be gaming wise or anything like that. But what is the one thing that you are the most looking forward to?
The one thing that
Yeah,
I'm
what are
most
you
looking
looking
forward to?
forward to the most? Like, gaming wise, it could be whatever and all that stuff. Like, what is the one thing
Oh,
that you're like, man, I can't wait, or whatever. Maybe marrying your old lady or something. I don't know.
well, we saved up quite a bit of money here. Hopefully, if everything goes well, I really want to record like a 4-track EP kind of thing. I think that'd be really exciting. I've been saying I'm gonna do it for years and years and years, but it's been one of those things where I'll get ahead money wise, and then like the fucking car will break down, or something will go wrong in the house, the basement will flood, or some bullshit. Like
Right.
so, it's been like forever coming. And now I kind of have a little bit of money saved away. I just need to find someone that's reasonable and
Find like a
also
studio or something like that.
yeah, find like a studio to get it, professionally done and all that stuff.
Well, you can always, I've always looked on like Craigslist, freaking Indeed, freaking all that other stuff and all, to try to, find stuff and all. It kind of goes back to freaking with my old lady the other day. We made a fire pit and stuff like that. And I was telling her, I was like, we can go on Craigslist and we could probably find big ass bricks for half the price that you would get it at Lowe's
Yeah.
or whatever and stuff like that. We just got to be patient. And she was like, no, I want to make this fire pit now. I'm like, we could have a couple weeks. There's no rush,
Yeah.
but and then no, you can find all kinds of stuff. Of course, you can't find the prostitutes anymore.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Maybe you're not looking hard enough.
Well, I'm really glad that they took that stuff down. I'm not gonna like I never did anything like that or whatever and all that stuff. But it's like I heard stories of guys that would go on Craigslist and do that kind of stuff, and I'm like sitting here like, dude.
Yeah. I didn't mean to laugh so much. Your face was just you're just like
I've thought about it in the past. Like, when you're going on 4 years of a nice little dry spell, you start thinking about a lot of things. Okay. Like even a little special light freaking doesn't work anymore. You know what I'm saying?
God, I got you. I feel you.
Oh man. Damn, that was only like 45 minutes right there.
I'm sorry. I'm blazing through the questions.
You are. You literally freaking are, you little ass.
I'm quick on
Man.
my feet. Sorry.
Well, we've talked about your lady a little bit and all, and I already know a little bit of this story and all that stuff. But I would love to, because because you're in the middle of gaming, you've had to like pause the thought process on this story. But I'd love to hear the story again of how you met your old lady.
I met Crystal on I don't remember exactly what the website was called at this point anymore. It was meant for just like meeting other musicians and stuff and whatever. And this goes back to me being like shy as fuck. So of course I did it online and it was anonymous and all that whatever garbage. And this was when I lived in Minnesota way back in the day. Um and I could not find like anyone that had like similar interests or whatever. So I just like jacked up it or how far it let you slide the slider. It was like a bajillion miles. And Crystal's thing popped up and then she had like video games and the same music and like the same movies and all that shit. And I was like, holy shit. This has to be like a fucking what do they call them? Like a phishing account or something. I thought for sure it was fake. Um,
Catfish. You're looking for
Cav,
catfish.
yeah. I was like, there's no way it's real, but I sent her a message. I was like, hey, we like the same things. You want to like chat or something? That's literally all I said. I know that's not like a crazy slick pickup line or whatever.
That's in a
And
way kind of how things work has been working out with my old lady. We'll get into that
yeah,
later.
um, but like I asked her that, and then she responded, and apparently she was. I caught her like just before she was about to delete the thing. Like she had made it the day after her birthday, and she had been on there like a few weeks and gotten nothing but kind of like creepy dudes going back to the Twitch thing, and they're being just creepers.
Hmm.
Um, so I guess me being just not a weirdo probably helped as well. Just being like, "Yo, you just want
You're
to like."
just naturally weird. It's just being an actual weirdo is a
Y
difference.
Yeah, I mean, like, people that are, like, just, like, sending unsolicited dick pics and shit like that, like,
Hmm.
that kinda just yeah, um, but yeah, I sent her that, we chatted for a real long time, and then I think after, like, a couple weeks or a month or whatever, we started dating, we talked about it, and we're like, "Oh, yeah, sure, whatever." We're both very laid back, so it's a whole thing, and then we went back and forth between us. Like, I went to see her, drove down to Iowa or drove down to Omaha actually because she was going to school there. Um, and spent the day just with her and going around visiting and whatever. And then she did the same thing. She came up to Duluth, and then we went back and forth a few times. And then I was like, man, I hate it in Duluth, and I moved down to Iowa.
Here,
And
uh,
that's kind of how it's been ever since.
how many months time span is this though? I don't
It
think it's
was a
very.
long
It wasn't very
it,
long, was it?
It was actually I think we were online dating for a year, um, and then I was like and when we had gone back and forth, I was like, "You wanna just fucking move in and see if it works?" And then we did, and we're still together, and it's been 7 years,
And you haven't
and
married this girl.
what was that?
You haven't married this girl.
I have not, and I think that, um, the way people's parents, I feel like guide them or not I don't guide's not the word I wanna say, but,
Want to
push
have
them
them
in certain directions.
predestined for them or whatever.
Yeah, because like, my mom and my dad were married the entirety of their thing until my dad died, but, they were never together. They were split the entire time they were married.
Oh,
He lived in California, and she was in Minnesota. They never technically got divorced, but they never lived together. And my brother and his girlfriend, they never got married, but they've been together for like 15 years or something. So like I've had that life experience. So I don't feel like any pressure to get married. And Crystal and I have talked about it, of course, because we've been together for 7 years. And people always are like, man, you're not married.
right.
um, and we've always it's another one of those things where we're like, I don't want to sound crass. As I'm kind of like, whatever, if you want to get married, sure. Which is not like romantic or whatever, but like I don't have like any idolization of marriage
Right.
because in my life, that's what marriage was to me. Is my parents were never together and they were married, and my brother was with his girlfriend and he was never married, and he's had, 3 kids, and they have a house together, and they've been perfectly happy.
I,
So
I have no problems with that at all. Because it's like with me, I'm actually divorced. I've been divorced since 2010 and all that stuff. And I personally, I don't see myself ever getting married. I was with this girl for like 3 years and all that stuff. And I think honestly, because of the situation that we had back then and all, and I've talked about it a long time ago, and but this isn't really about me too much. But I was really happy in the fact that when we broke up, there wasn't a whole lot of complication,
yeah,
and with being married, there is a lot of a lot of a lot of things you got to worry about and all that stuff. And for me personally, I just don't ever want to go through that again and all that stuff. And so it's one of those things. I'm completely with you. Like I'll be with a girl till I die, or whatever. And like I might even start calling her wifey or whatever and all that stuff. If she wants me to.
Yeah.
But in my eyes, I don't see myself ever needing to get married. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel the need to get married like I did
Yeah.
when I was in my early 20s and all that stuff because like that was how was you were raised, Like you're
Yeah. There is.
raised that you need to be married and you need to have 50 million kids
Yeah. That.
and all that stuff. And I'm like sitting here like, no, I don't. Like no, I don't.
Yeah.
So like I got fixed freaking years ago, so there ain't no more babies coming out. And then freaking and I basically had the mindset of like, hey, if this girl wants to be with me, I'll be with them. And if not, then whatever. And if after like going on a couple of dates, if I don't feel a click with you and all that stuff, it's probably not going to be anymore for me at
Yeah.
least. You know, um, and I mean, I think that's how a lot of people these days and age, especially older people, are. Early 30s, mid 30s, and all that stuff, and especially freaking 40s and 50s. They're just like, hey, listen, and the thing is like, because back in the day, it was like, if the only way that you can truly show that you're not cheating and that you're loyal to your woman is by marrying them.
Yeah.
No, by the way that you show loyalty and love and all that stuff is by respecting your lady and
Yeah.
all that stuff. By communication and stuff like that. And a woman most of the time, if you give her all of those things, she's not going to care about that ring on the finger,
Yeah.
all these little songs about, why didn't you put a ring on it? And you know what? Most women, if you respect them and all that stuff and all, they're not going to care about that ring, you know, and all that stuff. So, um, I don't
And the
know.
word I was thinking of was influence. I don't know why I said guide, but
Influence, right?
they influence your
Hey, hey,
decisions.
hey, hey,
But
we're not known for our words, okay? We're known for, well, for you, your gaming. For me, my smart ass mouth. But well, we don't really need to go over that, really. I mean, unless you really kind of want to or whatever. Um, hey, Half Blood, how's it going, bud? I'm sorry about that.
don't
Um,
worry, I got you covered.
Damn, we've literally gone through all of the questions already that I
Wow.
came up with and all that stuff and all. And the thing is, we've even had runoff freaking. Oh no, we didn't. We missed one. We missed one. I just looked at. I seen ban on there, and I didn't. I had a second follow up ban question.
Listen, I'm just speed running the question.
You are, but it's good though, But I mean, we're still having extra conversation along with these questions and all that stuff, and that's really the thing is, it's like with these podcasts is that you want to not just go question after question after question. You want to have a conversation with that
Yeah,
question and
I'll be
all that
chill.
stuff. Um, so all time favorite band and why?
I gotta pick one? Just one?
One,
Just one? I
one.
guess I mean, I hate to be generic, but it's probably gotta be Nirvana, man. Because
Ooh, that's actually
um,
I think it's so much hate too, but they're actually a really good band.
yeah, they caught a lot of flack, and, but to be able to write stuff that kinda sounds like pure noise and make it sound catchy and happy, but it's really depressing as fuck, I
Yeah.
think that's just, like, incredibly talented, um, and, I it's just there's a lot of nuances in all of the songs that I think people will just right away because 'cause they're like, "Oh, they just play power chords and whatever," and it's if you really break stuff down, there's so much that goes into those songs, and, I
Well,
don't know,
it's
I've loved that band forever because I can I go off on a little bit of a tangent?
go ahead. Do it,
Oh,
bud.
let's go, dude. So when I was growing up, I didn't really get exposed to like a whole lot of music until I started playing video games. This was like late middle school. When I finally started getting like CDs and stuff. So I was like vaguely aware of like Metallica and AC/DC and all those like 80s kind of rock bands and whatever. And then I got hit by like I played some like twisted metal and like Tony Hawk and stuff like that on
Oh,
PlayStation.
Tony Hawk. Oh man, Tony Hawk. I played a shit ton of Tony Hawk. All right, continue.
Yeah, dude. And so like then all of a sudden we're listening to we got like some Rob Zombie and Power Man 5000 and we got freaking all these like punk bands and like like Red Hot Chili Peppers and like
Hmm.
a vast array of like kind of like newish rock bands. Oh, at the time, I guess.
At the time. Now, kids these days, they're like, "That's old dirt, you
Yeah,
old
it's old
fogey."
now, but
Like, what are you talking about? I want
it
the
was just
WAP. Ugh.
it
It's like, ooh.
oh no, dude. Yeah, I know what you mean. And then my friend sold me my first CD, which was a used copy of Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory, um, which was a fantastic CD. I still think it is. A little bit corny on the lyrics, but Chester Bennington's probably one of the best vocalists that ever lived, to be honest. Um, and that kind of led me down that path of like kind of new wave rock at the time. Um, and then in high school, I kind of started going backwards. Because this is a weird thing, man. We had a substitute teacher in art class, and I can't fucking remember what we were doing, but they turned on the radio and Rape Me came on.
Oh yes,
Um,
yes.
and like it was so awkward. No one turned off the radio. The whole song played. But I was like, my God, that song sounded cool because it was like, I mean, what Nirvana is. It's like stripped back and very raw. And I was like, dude, that sounds so cool after listening to like Linkin Park, which has like all this electronica and like the
Right,
guitars are super
right, right.
detuned and there's a rapper and a screaming guy and there's a whole bunch of layers to it. Um, so then I dug into Nirvana and I was like, what the fuck, he's dead. Which sucked. And
Yeah.
then that's also how I found like Alice in Chains. And then I was like, what the fuck, he's dead. Um, and that's
It just seems like all the great freaking artists, like that and all they, they pass away, and
yeah,
it's very sad because,
it's
like,
the
mm,
27 age curse or whatever it is. Because there's a handful of them that died at 27.
yeah, there was like three of them or something like that, right, or whatever. Yeah,
It's probably
uh,
more at this point, but
yeah. I don't know, like, I've always loved my freaking alternative and all that stuff and all. Like I did like Nirvana and all that stuff, and I won't lie, like Tony Hawk, I'd pretty much agree with you that like that's really kind of got me into that realm myself. Was like Tony Hawk games and stuff and all, because that's what was playing in the thing and all. And
yeah,
some of these artists or whatever, like you wouldn't even really notice it unless like got ended up getting the actual CD and then you end up playing the game. You're like, oh yeah, that's that guy or
yeah.
whatever,
I
you know.
I would have never heard like half the bands I've heard of unless they were in video games essentially. It's like I didn't really listen to the radio and the radio plays the same like 10 fucking songs anyway. So it's
Yeah.
like you don't really get a super broad spectrum. And I mean even now like a lot of the music I find is just like random like at the end of do you know what BoJack Horseman is on Netflix?
No, no, I don't. No, I don't.
It's kind of like an adult um cartoon or whatever. It's like South Park sort of, it's
Okay,
it's meant
okay.
for mature audiences.
BoJack.
It's
It
very
does
depressed.
BoJack. Now that you say, okay, um, it's kind of like Mr. Pickles or something like that or whatever it is.
I believe so. But they had a Courtney Barnett. And she's like an indie artist out of Australia. And she plays kind of a mix of like Bob Dylan and Nirvana-ish stuff, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And one of her things was playing at the end of an episode. I was like, oh, that's cool. And that's how I found that artist. I don't find things anymore through anything. Like, if I turn on Spotify, it just, like, regurgitates the same bands I've always heard.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's the thing with my Spotify. If it's not like my chill out music or whatever, where the couple times that I've done like just where I've done just my little music streams or whatever, and like I have my little display up, and most of the time with those little things, I'll have like just like my chill out music and stuff.
yeah.
So, and basically it's stuff to like help relax you, maybe get you to sleep, stuff like that, and all. Um, and it's either that or like old, 2000 and back freaking alternative rock and stuff like that. Um, like I do listen to some of the newer songs nowadays and all that stuff, but um, I think personally, I think a lot of the newer stuff is not as good as it used to be and all. And and the
Well,
thing is, like with some of these songs, and they've already kind of proven it already, like how like some of these newer songs are just regurgitated old songs.
yeah, well, I mean, that for sure happens.
You know, and so like there's no like true original artists these days. I think like for the most part, like as far as like a mass bunch, I mean there are definitely original artists out there at today and all that stuff, but I mean like as a mass bunch, like where you can look at freaking 50 bands and each one of them has their own thing going and all that stuff. I think that's probably in my eyes, I think 90s, early 2000 was the last
Yeah,
time we
there
had
hasn't been a
that
new
many
wave.
people. You know,
Yeah, it's the good old, rock is dead. Although I think, like I said, I really think a lot of stuff's coming out of Australia because there's a band called King Gizzard the Lizard Wizard.
Australia and New
Say that
Zealand,
fast. Uh,
Australia and New Zealand, I believe as well.
yeah, I don't know, America seems to be kinda lacking at the moment, but hopefully that'll
Well, I think
change, you know?
most of America is freaking a bunch of spoiled brats in the first place, but that's just another. That's a story for another time.
Um, but yeah, I don't know, it's rough trying to find new stuff that's cool. Half the time when I find a new band or whatever, it's like, "Hey, they were 98 or something, and they broke up," or someone died and, it's that kinda deal. Although
Like,
Alice in Chains is still going. They're
right?
doing pretty well
Well,
with,
it's like
William Duvall.
gorillas
Mhm.
and all that stuff. Like, what was it? I discovered them a couple years back or something like that, and then I like was like, "Oh, where's some new music for them?" I'm like, "Nope, they're broken up. They've been broken up for a while." And I'm like sitting here like, "Why am I just now hearing this music?" Um, or maybe actually, I have a really bad thing. Like for me, like I can hear a song and I can know all the lyrics to it, right?
Yeah.
I could not tell you the title of the song. I could not tell you the artist. Like nothing. Like I'll know the song by heart and all that stuff. And it's just like I don't know. That's just how my brain works or something like
That
that.
must be a good song then.
Or I've just heard it a lot.
Or that.
I just
Or
heard it a
that.
lot. Because there's
That's
some
true.
terrible songs that I know freaking all the words to it. You know,
Oh god, dude. I
and I'd
Yeah.
rather not know the words to it. Like a certain chicken song or something like that. I would not rather not know the words to it at
Yeah,
all.
when I worked at Walmart, I cashiered and then I worked in the back room for a long time and, both, like, just during the normal
We're still going,
non-season.
bud.
Yeah, we're still here, Neff, don't worry. Um, we, during, like, the normal whatever, they would have, like, Justin Bieber and, dude, we fucking listened to, Baby, because they'd only play, like, 7 songs as well in the
Hmm.
store, and you work, like, a 9-hour shift. So you listen to the same songs every day on repeat, and it would get horrible. Or if you go to, you know, to any Walmart or any store really during the holidays, and they're all playing the same holiday music. over and over and over again. I feel so bad because I've and it sucks. It really sucks listening to that stuff on repeat.
I have to be honest. Like holiday music is the worst. I have to say,
Yeah. Uh,
holiday music is absolutely the worst because like it's cool for like the first week, but you got 3 months of this shit that you got to listen to on the radio and all the freaking stores and all that
the
stuff.
carolers
And
and
it's always the same, like maybe 10, maybe 15 songs. And you're just like, oh, please shoot me now. Like, I don't mind like a holiday song here and there, whatever to keep it festive, but not every second of the day and all. And it's like I got this one guy at work, right? And when it's the Christmas season, he's got a little small radio and he doesn't really blast it, but he's got a little small radio and he'll put it on holiday music. And I'm sitting here like, I've done it one time just to piss him off. I'd freaking hook my phone up because I got like a little mobile
yeah.
freaking thing. I've hooked my phone up to it and all that stuff. And I would just start playing my alternative rock or something like that, or whatever. I'd be playing whatever over top of that, just barely over top of it, so it's not loud. It's not like blaring in there and all that stuff, but like just enough
Oh
for
my
him to know
god,
I don't
dude.
want to hear this shit, you know.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say nothing. I don't say nothing to him because we're just like,
This
fuck
is a
it, you're going
passive
to do
aggressive
you,
war.
I'm going to do me. Fuck you,
Yeah, that's funny.
But
Reminds me of fucking our neighbors with their I don't know if they have if it's a car or a motorcycle or something that they work on like every fucking summer, and they'll sit there and like rev it while they're working on it or whatever for a few hours in the middle of the day every fucking other day, and I sleep during the day. So I'll get
right.
woken up every now and then to just like it's just like fuck off.
Well,
I hate you.
the thing is like I used to work on cars and stuff like that, revving it and all that stuff on a constant basis like that. No, you're actually hurting the engine more than you're helping it. But
Yeah, I think they're just I don't know what they're doing because they do it all the fucking time. Every summer it's over the I think they just hang out and fuck around, but like it's
day drinking and all that stuff,
yeah,
probably.
no, that's what they're doing is
Yeah.
they're just it's just obnoxious. God.
Oh, yeah. It's like I remember like last Christmas and all that stuff. And when I was streaming on the regular and I was actually doing gaming and all that stuff, I would have and we were able to play music on stream, good
Mhm.
old days,
Yeah.
uh and not have to worry about DMCA. Now you got to worry about it, but
Yeah.
uh like people would be, I would turn on song requests and they would put Christmas songs on, and I would just be like, all right, we're going to listen to one Christmas song. And as soon as I say that, then I got like 5 song requests for Christmas songs. And I'm like, I'm going to skip every single one of these, right? And everybody's like, "Yeah, we're going to keep requesting them just to piss you off." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Urgh." So I would end up turning song requests off and on just freaking play my own little music and all that stuff. And then I'm like, come on, man, we need to hear at least
Yeah.
one song, at least one Christmas song. I'm like, all right, fine, here's Jingle Bells. Here you go, and then I'll turn it back off.
Just when you play the first second of Jingle Bells and then you switch it back to
Right.
whatever you're listening to.
Right.
So whenever I'm playing music on stream, people will come in and they'll request stuff, and it's like, and I have friends that play music as well. People think you know every song ever if you have a guitar. They just think
Right.
you know they think you know everything, and it's like, and then half the other people are like, here, play Wonderwall, and I'll be like, yeah, sure, and then I'll just start playing another song. It's just
Right.
because I'm so sick of it. I know it's an asshole thing to do, but it's just like,
Well, especially like with your friends that, whatever, they're mostly doing it just for fun or whatever.
yeah.
It's the ones that are coming in there to legitimately troll that you're like, go fuck yourself.
Dude, the second show I played last summer, the people that went up after me, someone, it wasn't that song. What was it? Freebird. Someone yelled "Play Freebird" at them. I was like, "I just wanna clothesline you." People
Well,
have been screaming that for like 50 years. Just stop.
we got a guy in chat. Okay, so we're just going to
Mm.
pretend the Nutcracker doesn't absolutely slap, right?
Yeah, that sounds like a Neff comment.
Yeah, it's definitely Neff. All right, go ahead back to what you were saying.
No, well, it just, that was the other song. Everyone says Wonderwall, and then everyone screams, Freebird, and, that the people up after me got kinda heckled a little bit. People are some drunk dude screamed, "Play Freebird" at him while they
Okay.
were playing whatever their set was. They were just playing originals, and just
Well, here, how often, like, because you've done a couple of live shows and stuff like that, like, it's pretty often for stupid stuff that for that stuff to happen, right? Especially if it's a
oh, yeah.
solo thing and all, and not like a full fledged band. Because I think what you're probably not going to get trolled as much at a live show if you got a full band going with you than what you would with if you're just solo, right? I'm guessing.
I guess, I don't know, I've seen some weird shit happen at, like, big band shows too, where they get shit thrown at them or, like, someone will try to rush the stage, which is a pretty big no-no these days,
Mm-hmm.
especially after I mean, this is years and years ago, like, Dimebag got shot or whatever forever ago, and that I feel like that was the first thing that happened that I think kinda changed people going up on stage, because it used to be super lax, like, anyone would just run and stage dive kinda thing,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then I
Yeah,
feel
they
like
don't
that
allow
happened.
stuff like that anymore at all.
No, not really, that doesn't really happen
Not
at
even
all.
at the big shows.
I've also seen that Nickelback video. Now, I mean, I'm thinking about, like, there's an old video of, like, Green Day getting mud thrown at them, and, Godsmack had the same thing happen to him. Speaking of, you've kinda touched on, bands that, I think you did at least, on, like, newer stuff kinda not being I don't know, not having as much, like, heart or soul into it.
I don't think there's
Maybe
I don't think there's a whole lot of thought process put behind a lot of this stuff. I think, and this also kind of coincides with video games. I think mostly with songs and all that stuff, and with pretty much most of the industries these days, they're like, what can we put out the fastest to make us the most money? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
they're trying to and video games have figured it out, unfortunately. Music's all over the place because albums don't sell anymore. So they do the streaming thing, and then the artist gets fucked because they make point 0 times 100 1 cent per stream. Um, but I was gonna say, a couple bands, I know Godsmack released a new album, like, a few years ago or something, and it was, like, questionable. Like, it's super, super questionable. Um, Linkin Park did, like, their whole genre change thing a number of years ago, but I know, like, a bunch of people like that. Wasn't really for me. Um, and I can't remember what other there was another rock band that kinda they, like, changed their sound to make it, like, super poppy and, like you said, try to, like, sell to as many people as possible, which is unfortunate because, I mean, damn, dude, it sucks.
Well, this is the other thing that kind of irritates me also when it comes to like with the music industry a little bit and all that stuff. You'll see, you'll have songs out there that actually like the artist put some real thought process to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all that stuff, and they'll flop. And then you'll have this trash song that's
Whack.
belittling anybody and everybody, you know, and all that stuff. And they'll freaking fly out to the moon. It's like, people, you understand that this it really isn't a good song. There's no thought process behind this. But the thought process one, now, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, here's a little bit, but no, it's it's too meaningful for this society.
That's why I was so happy when I found like, Courtney Barnett's, like, super, I guess it's because she's an indie artist. She's not, like, tied to, like, Warner Brothers or, like, Sony or something. So
Right.
she can just release whatever the fuck she wants. And she did that, and she kinda took off. on her own. So that's really cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool. And
I mean,
someone
I
said, "Go ahead." I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna
Music.
say Neff was I think musicians using Twitch opens the door for direct support along a platform to sell your music, and that's kinda cool. I know a couple of musicians, like, I don't know if you know the band Trivium. It's a metal band.
Sounds kind of familiar. I
Um,
probably if I looked at like their like album or
th
something like
they're one
that,
of those
or
screaming bands.
yeah, but even though I can't scream and I do find it a little annoying after a while, I have listened to those kind of freaking bands and all that stuff because there's some bands out there that are really great, really freaking
Yeah,
great, and I can listen to it for more than 3 songs. But there's other ones out there after like 2 songs, I'm just like, my ears can't take it anymore. Give me
I feel
back
it for
my
sure.
other songs. Give me back my alternative stuff, regular stuff.
But I was gonna say, the lead singer and I think the bassist now stream on Twitch.
Okay.
Um, and they'll I know Matt Heafy is the lead singer. He'll stream himself playing music. He'll play video games occasionally, but he'll stream himself like putting together songs and doing their actual songs on Twitch. And he has like a really nice setup and stuff. And
Well, there's a lot of things that are going on Twitch that is really good and all that stuff. But the thing is that are like with Heafy, playing his own music and all that stuff on there and all
yeah,
that
there's
stuff.
that.
On Twitch. Well, what about the DMCA thing? I mean, technically, like I don't know if he's with like an actual company, but
I
like
think they are, and I think they own their masters, which is why he can do that.
right, like because like the thing is that let's say you're with a company, yeah, that might be your song, but in essence, that company actually owns that song, so you could play your own music on stream and still get a
Yeah,
DMCA
well, I mean,
strike
shit, dude.
through the company.
Metallica didn't own their music until, like, 5 years ago or something, maybe it was 10 years, time, but they didn't own, like, Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning and all that stuff until a number of years down the line. They didn't own the masters, like, they didn't
Right.
they had to buy it back from, whoever they were under.
And
Um,
that's just the problem is and all that stuff, and it's like with me, we've been hanging out in each other's chats for years now, and you know how I used to play music in my stream like almost all the time, and that's kind of how I ended up getting really a following a little bit because I would leave freaking song requests on the whole time and all that stuff, and people would be playing anything and everything. I'd be listening to freaking 1 second country music, next second freaking rock, next second freaking Christmas music, next second freaking
yeah.
some Irish folk song or something like that, and I'm like sitting, I'm just chilling, playing video games. I don't care.
Yeah,
And now with the DMCA thing, you just can't do that anymore. And
it's dangerous.
like if especially if you want to save your VODs, like I know there's like people like there's other streams that are still playing music on their stream, but a lot of them aren't saving their VODs anymore
Mhm.
to hopefully alleviate the possibility of getting DMCA strikes and all that stuff. Even though technically they could still get DMCA striked
They
even
could, yeah.
while they're live.
While they're live or if they get clipped, if they
Hmm.
clips of their channel has music over it or whatever.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't know. It's a very crazy thing, and the thing is that like you'll hear the thing of like, oh well, DMCA's always been a part of Twitch, and they're just now enforcing it and stuff like that. Yeah, the reason why they're just now enforcing it is because freaking the record companies are greedy freaking assholes, and they want to make more money. That's the only
Yeah.
reason why the record companies back in the day they didn't care. This is my opinion, all right? Just my opinion. They didn't care back in the day. They notice how many streamers are now on, let's say, Twitch and all that stuff, and all how many more streamers there are, and they're seeing, oh man, that's a pot of freaking gold that
Mhm.
we have not tried touching.
That's what they
You
see,
know?
like, someone with a couple thousand viewers, and they're playing a song, and what's going through that person's head is that's a couple thousand clicks on Spotify or something that they're not getting or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, which is unfortunate because like from a musician's point of view, like DMCA has to exist to protect your
Right,
stuff.
right. Now I completely understand that. I completely understand that.
But the way they're using it is they're abusing it really like 'cause every artist I know, like I would be thrilled if I made a demo and someone with a couple thousand viewers played my songs in front of it because that's just like fantastic like ads essentially. Like
The other thing is that it's basically free advertisement on that as well. I don't know how many times, like back in the day when I was playing music, and I'd be playing a song, and because I didn't have like the scrolling little thing at the bottom or anything like
mhm.
that, somebody be like, "Oh, this is a great freaking song. What is this song?" And
Same thing.
and I'll be like, "Oh, it's blah 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 blah," and they'll be like, "Oh, cool," and then all of a sudden you could see your view count go to, if you had like seven, now you're down to freaking five, because those two people that asked just went to go look on Spotify or wherever to get that song because they
Yeah.
liked it so much and all that stuff, or saved it somewhere and stuff like that. But at the same time, I do
Yeah.
understand the
It
protection of the artists in their art and all that stuff.
it's
It's a
an
double
unfortunate
another one of
thing.
those things of double edged swords
Yeah,
for
because like
its
if your song
critics.
was being used over like a KKK video, you need the right to take that down.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
um, then that's why it's there, but these dudes they're still technically right because you're not supposed to broadcast stuff you don't own. The same thing with movies and all that stuff. But again, most musicians, and it comes back to most of them don't own their music because they get screwed over by record labels and it's a whole shit show, which I guess we're hopefully heading towards a good future of people just being independent and most of the record companies will just die out eventually.
Right,
But
because
who
there
knows?
are a lot more artists that are just fed up with it, and they're creating their own copyrighted songs and all that stuff on their own, and it's just I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
The artists are getting tired of money getting taken away from them, getting tired of not being able to allow certain people to even play their music if they like them and want them to play their music and all that stuff, because there's artists out there, and I've even gotten a DM and stuff like that from a couple of like dubstep people and all that stuff, which I don't
Mhm.
mind. I don't mind dubstep. Trust me, I was big into techno a few years back and stuff like
That's a
that.
name I haven't heard in a long time. Dubstep kind of came and went in terms of fads, but
Well, I mean, it's still kind of there, but
well, it's still
there's
being made
no
for sure.
no big major artists
Yeah.
anymore. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying?
well, it did it had its time in the sun or whatever. It's the
Hmm.
same as like thrash metal or like 90s or like the early 2000s emo rock,
Right.
fads come and go, but it is
Well,
what
I
it is.
mean, each generation has their little snippet of like this weird but cool music genre or whatever that
Mhm.
just lasts for that little snippet,
Yep.
and like only a few people will remember or even know certain things about it because they either lived through it or they listened to a few songs of it and stuff like that and all.
It was cra
I went through my techno phase, so
Dude, call it? Oh god, I'm spacing on the 2 dudes. They broke up.
Draft Punk, Drift
Daft
Punk or
Punk.
something, Def Punk,
Yeah,
Def Punk,
Daft Punk.
Def Punk, Def Punk.
My brain.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
they
They
have
broke
one of them
up.
left.
Didn't they break up not even a couple months ago or something like that?
Yeah, it wasn't too
And all that
long
stuff.
ago.
And I
One of
was actually
them.
surprised they were still making music. Honestly,
They haven't really they made
I
like
thought they
3
stopped
albums,
making
right?
music like freaking like a year ago or something like that. But I mean, they made some good stuff in the past. But you know,
No, yeah, for sure. But I that was it kind of came out of the blue. I was kind of surprised, but
yeah. I was actually honestly what I was more surprised about, that it actually made somewhat of a news article that I actually knew what you were talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because there's like hardly any like news of that kind of stuff these
yeah.
days. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like back in the day, freaking, they're all all of them were in the news and all. Oh God, I'm having a brain fart in a couple of Casside or whatever. I forget.
Your Discord lagged. What'd you say?
Casside or
I'm not sure.
I forget. It doesn't matter. Um, and then a few others like you don't really hear a whole lot about them anymore unless you're into Fortnite,
Nah,
or whatever. Like because that honestly, like that kind of genre of music, I have noticed has been more um available for like let's say games like Cyberpunk or freaking Fortnite or a bunch of different other little games that
dude, Cyberpunk was such a shit show. But the one thing they did that was really cool is they did hire a band. I don't remember what the band's name was, but they came in and like recorded the songs, some of the like the punk rock songs and stuff. There's some dude that was not, I don't know if he was like Swedish or something. He had a very heavy accent, but when he sings, he sounds like a like English, like
Oh,
American or
really?
whatever.
Okay.
He sounds
It's amazing how English people can do that. Mm.
yeah, it was just such a weird thing, but it was cool that they invited the band to come in and like essentially play a fake band in the game is what
Right.
they did. They recorded some songs for it, and that was really cool. The rest of the game was kinda questionable.
I also heard with Cyberpunk a little bit there is that didn't they have a whole
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
problems or something like that?
There's a lot of stuff that
And
happened.
and like they got like a page worth of freaking bugs to fix and all that stuff.
The
And
game so
oh, Outriders too. Outriders just recently has a like a page worth of uh bug fixes and stuff like that that they're trying to do. I don't know if you've looked into
I
Outriders at
downloaded
all.
Outriders, I haven't actually played it.
Yeah, I downloaded the demo for it, and then I didn't buy the whole game because I actually meant to before I had my problem that always comes around. Um, I was going to play the demo before it came out, and then it just came out what couple weeks ago or a week ago
Yeah,
or
it
something
wasn't
like
too
that.
long ago. It was I
But
downloaded it and then never fucking played it.
yeah, I meant to play it too because like the thing is that freaking if you did the demo of it, you would be able to all of your progression would go into the full game
Oh,
and
that's
all that
pretty cool.
stuff and that there was a hint that you might get some extra perks and all that stuff. Um I don't know if that ever happened or not or whatever, but I know that
I
they
have
were
no
having a
clue.
whole lot of problems with Outrider when it came out, and I think they even shut it down for like a day or something like that, or a couple hours because there was so many problems. I think it's back out and up and running now, of course, but like they had like a huge thing. I actually had a guy in my chat the other day. Um, and I was talking about Outriders, and he was like, "Hey, look it up, look up all the fixes and stuff like that." And I was just like scrolling, and I kept scrolling
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But that goes back to what we talked about earlier about how like games are rushing um, to get their content out, and they're not having proper game testers and all that stuff going on. And I think we're going to continue having that until, finally, maybe gamers go, hey, I want to deal with this no more,
Hopefully.
you know?
Hopefully it I wonder if there'll be another like, how I forget the years. There's like a game market crash essentially. I think it was before NES, before the Nintendo system came out. Like
Uh,
when there was Atari and there was a bunch of different things and everything kind of sucked game wise
right.
and the game game market essentially crashed. Like no one wanted to make video games and no one wanted to buy them. Then Nintendo made the Nintendo Entertainment System, and lo and behold, you make good games and a good console, and people want to buy it again.
Hmm.
Maybe we need to go through that again. I don't
Well,
know.
I
It
mean,
sucks.
if it wasn't for Nintendo, we would not have the gaming industry right now. I don't think
Yeah, pretty
that we,
much.
you know, because I
Eh,
mean, even Sega and all that stuff, they pretty much gave up, and then Nintendo came into the picture, and then Sega's like, oh, what Sega, Sony, oh, they're making money. How are they making money? And we were bowing out. We need to get back into it, And then we got the Sega Genesis and all that other stuff and all. And some people in the chat probably doesn't even know these games types that we're talking about, but that's because we're a little
Neff's an
old.
old guy. Neff knows. Dude, there's a really cool thing I didn't know until I think a few months ago. Sony and Nintendo were actually working together for a bit for I think the 64. So the 64 was originally going to be disc based.
Right, right.
Um,
Yep.
and then I don't know what happened. Like they split. Sony made their own console,
I
and
th-
then the 64 came
I
out
think there
cartridge
was
based.
I think there was a partnership issue or something like that.
Yeah.
Something along of like a percentage issue, like how much of percentage each side was going to get and all that stuff.
Well, I'm sure someone again, it was probably
Money.
money.
It's all money. It's always
Yeah.
money. Always money.
So forth. But
But
like I said, the unfortunate thing is the most popular game right now, I feel like is still Fortnite, probably. I don't know. I don't keep my hand on the pulse too much, but
well,
there's a lot of people buying shit there.
Fortnite
Um,
is still popular because of kids.
well, yeah.
You know what I mean? And with the way they got their SBMM and all that stuff and all, and the way they do it, and COD kind of does this the same way. As COD Warzone, as far as like they keep it entertaining just enough to keep you playing and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And um it's I like that. That's the reason why, like for me, I like Apex more than anything else is and all that stuff because like if you want to play competitively, you go to ranked. You want to freaking just fuck around and all that stuff, you stay in pubs and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Where all these other games you like it doesn't necessarily have that. I mean, Fortnite does have its little champion series thing or something like that or whatever. I don't know. I
Yeah.
never got into Fortnite. I couldn't build, so I was just like, no, I'm not gonna. But that was the thing. Like I did give Fortnite a try when it first came out, like season 2,
So did
season
I.
3.
Yeah.
And when it came to the building side of things, I was like, why do I need to build a wall to shoot this guy that's right in front of me? Like I didn't like the concept. I didn't like the way it was and all that stuff. So I just I got away from that. I went back to my Halo, my COD, and my PUBG. So because I think PUBG was out during that time as well. Well, actually, a PUBG came out before Fortnite, I believe. Um, and I played I just played PUBG instead because I'd rather just sit there and play that. And then, of course, PUBG, they ended up doing so many changes to PUBG that I don't even want to mess with that, you know?
I was just gonna say, but because Fortnite is so popular and it makes so much money, everyone else is looking towards it as like inspiration as how to make money, essentially. That's why every
Yeah.
game I feel like has battle passes now, and I'm kind
Well,
of
you got
worried
to
about
remember there is a
infinite.
lot of things that like PUBG stole off of other games. I mean not PUBG. Fortnite stole a lot of different things. Like
Oh yeah,
they didn't have the respawn bus. They didn't have freaking a ping system. They didn't have all that stuff. They got it off of other games. There's several other little things and all that stuff. The one thing is that I do have to say is that um, Fortnite does seem to have not as much of like a lag issue for gamers. You know what I'm saying? Like how in H5, you can get 2 3 blank shots before one actually counts. And stuff.
yeah,
And it seems, at least from when I've watched streams, where when I used to play and all that stuff, like it seemed like Fortnite kind of had that issue, not obviously not perfect and all that stuff, but they had it pretty down packed where it's not as bad and all.
yeah.
And the thing is that you will have COD Warzone give you blank shots, all that stuff. on a regular and all. And even PUBG had that issue as well. Um, there's a lot of good things that Fortnite is doing, and I agree with you. That's probably the reason why it is still staying popular to this very day. And all it's adjusted for anybody and everybody. And all.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's past 8 o'clock, bud, and that's our cutoff and everything. Again,
Wow, I thought I was going through the questions too fast, Worm.
well, we actually been rambling on for the last
Yeah,
half
I know.
hour, so that was
Listen,
actually
I'm good at rambling.
yeah, sure, yeah, sure,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. I see how it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Dude, how many times have I kept the conversation going just in your own chat? Let's just say that.
Listen, who started this entire conversation?
I did by inviting you to the channel.
Oh, well, you got me there.
I'm joking, man. Hey,
No.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming and all that stuff. And I'd love to have you on again. We had a lot of great conversation and all that stuff. Anything you would like to say or whatever?
I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of stuff to promote. You know me, I just play Halo a bunch. The new Isaac DLC came out. I've been actually uploading to YouTube for once in my goddamn life. So I mean, there's new stuff there, and it's mostly Isaac. You know, I still do like Halo, uh, highlights or whatever. But um, thank you for the shout out. Um, but yeah, I've been slowly kind of transitioning over to trying to play a variety of stuff because of the state of Halo 5, I
Yeah,
guess let's call
I
it.
agree.
Um so so yeah, that's going on. Um that's really the only special thing. You know, still streaming for the most part every night, streaming some Halo.
And
Trying
obviously, you don't have a regular hours or anything like that when you start stream or
uh
end stream.
it's supposed to be midnight central, but I also
Supposed
never
to be.
sleep. I never. You can ask Neff. Neff's in chat. I'll get off stream and I'll end up talking to him in Discord until 5 p.m., which is when I'm supposed to wake up the next day. And then I'll end up streaming at 2 a.m. the very same night. Like it's what it is. I stream, man, literally never sleeps. I you tune in at Halo 5 at any time during the morning hours, you're probably gonna see me on, right?
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
Um,
Well, I always pop in there when I'm at work, so
yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. It's always nice to have a friendly face.
no. All right, dude. Again, I greatly appreciate you and everything. And again, at any time that you would like to come back on the podcast, just let me know, man. All right. It was
Yeah,
great
for
having
sure. It was fun.
you.